Hey everybody, welcome to My Usual Me. Welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3, where we are now live with the full release. So we're going to take a look at character creation and changes that they've made. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a character right off the bat, and we're going to go ahead and then we will end this stream, and then we'll go ahead and we will start the first episode of the playthrough. I will be doing 2-hour live streams coming up here as soon as we're done with this. I'll be taking short breaks in between, and I'll be going as long as I can, so expect that. Let me go ahead and pop out chat right quick so I can say hello to some people. But let's go ahead and jump right in. Before we do that, actually, before I start saying hello to people, let's go ahead and start this off. We're going to go balanced, and then I'll come back and I'll do tactician later. So, there I am. What's up, Stormwalker dude? How you doing? All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to fast forward past this. Who are you? Yeah, we'll go ahead and accept the tutorials. That's fine. All right, so right off the bat, we're going to have our origin character, which is what we're going to do. You can play as one of the origin characters themselves. I will not be doing that today. And I do not think I'm going to go ahead and go with Dark Urge, because there's a lot that goes on with Dark Urge that they say that you probably shouldn't do, that you would miss out on some stuff if you start with Dark Urge right off the bat, so I don't think I'm going to do that. So we're going to go with an origin character. Let's go ahead and let's go to the race, and with races we have Elf, which is going to give us Elven weapon training. So you get the long sword, the short bow, and the long bow that you're proficient with. You get dark vision. You can see up to 40 feet. You get Fey Ancestry, which gives you advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. With the Tiefling, actually, hang on. We have High Elf. Are they only allowing? They're not allowing only High Elf, are they? Subrace. Here we go. So you have High Elf and Wood Elf. Here we go. So the difference between High Elf and Wood Elf are going to be, High Elf is going to get a Firebolt, or you're going to get your choice of a cantrip, or is it only going to give you Firebolt? Nope, here we go. High Elf cantrip, so you can choose. So they didn't change that. That's good. And so you got to make sure you got to click downward for all of your choices. Wood Elf, also the speed on High Elf and Wood Elf is going to be different as well. So, High Elf is only going to be 30 feet, I think. Where is it showing my speed? It should be under race, and it's not showing it. I'm not seeing it at all. That's really weird. Subrace, maybe it's under subrace. Anyway, Wood Elf's going to have an extra 5 feet of movement, unless they changed it, but I don't know why they would. These are the different body types. It's the gray button. What gray button? Oh, there it is. Got it. Okay, so this was the movement speed back when they when I showed it in the last video. I thought it was just the arrow that was showing what things were, but this is actually the movement speed button. Okay, I got it. Cool. So yeah, your movement speed is increased by 5 feet. Okay, so it's not telling you how much movement. It's just telling you that you have an additional 5 feet of movement. And what'll happen is when you go into the other classes that are like the smaller classes, it's going to say it says 25 feet per turn. This says 30 feet per turn. But when you go into the subrace, it tells you that you get an additional 5 feet per turn with Wood Elf. That's how they're doing it. It's a little confusing, but that's okay. That's all right. So anyway, so yeah, that's what you get with Wood Elf, is you're going to get an additional 5 feet of movement. Tiefling, we go into subraces of Tiefling. We're going to have, that's 30 feet per turn, dark vision of up to 40 feet, and hellish resistance, which means you can only take half damage from fire, which is correct. With Asmodeus Tiefling, you're going to get a cantrip. Are you going to... Okay, it looks like you only get the Produce Flame cantrip at level 1 for the Asmodeus. It's not giving me another option. Mephistopheles is going to get Mage Hand. Zariel is going to get Thaumaturgy. So you have one of three, a choice of one of these 3 cantrips depending on which subclass of Tiefling that you want, which is fine. Because they are from different demons, so they would have different abilities. Tieflings are going to be empowered with martial strength and can channel Searing Flame to punish their enemies. I'm wondering if there's strength... Hang on, let's go to sub-races. So this strength right here is only 8. It's not going to make a difference. Even though the description is saying that it's different, it's not different. Because you're going to be able to put in one ability... You're going to be able to put 2 points into one ability and 1 point into another ability, depending on what you want. So it doesn't matter. This description is just... It's whatever it is. That's fine. So that's okay. Drow, we're going to get 30 feet per turn, improved dark vision, and Drow weapon training. Well, Drow weapon training is going to give you your dexterity-based weapons. It's going to give you your rapier, your short sword, and the hand crossbow. You're also going to get Fey Ancestry as well. So, advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. And then, human, we're going to get Civil Militia, which is gives you weapon proficiencies in spears, pikes, halberds, and glaives, and armor proficiency with light armor and shields. It's pretty big. And then human versatility, you select an additional skill to be proficient in, and your carrying capacity is increased by a quarter. So it's not okay. So it's 25% more than what it would be. So, okay, I mean that's fine. I don't know that that is actually good enough for me to take human, though. And there's no subclass for human. Githyanki, we're going to get Astral Knowledge, which is getting you a proficiency in all skills of a chosen ability until a long rest. So when we use Astral Knowledge, if we can use it once. So if I want to get proficiency in all of my strength skills, I'll show you those in a minute. We can just do that right quick. We can click on this. It's not going to give it to us. It's not going to show you the abilities. You used to be able to click on it and it would open up another table. So it shows you what abilities you're proficient in, or where those proficiencies lie. I mean, it's not showing. That's fine. Anyway, what you'll do is you'll click on this and it'll ask you what ability you want to be proficient in until a long rest, and then you're going to be able to be proficient in those. So it's kind of like where's the sorcerer? Let's get rid of that. It's kind of like your rogue proficiency, or the bard proficiency, but a little better. Because, trying to think of the name of it. I'll think of it in a second. Anyway, that's for bards. That's rounded down. This isn't rounded down. It's specific to the actual stat, which is fine. Anyway, you're going to get that. You're going to get cantrips. The cantrip of Mage Hand, and then you'll get another. You should get a psionic jump ability later on, down the road. Base racial speed is 30 feet, and then you get martial proficiency in light armor and medium armor, short sword, long sword, and great sword. So, with the Githyanki, because with what they've done with where is it? With Warlock, one of the classes in Warlock that you can get is Pact of the Blade. They don't have Hexblade in the game, but if you take Githyanki, which gives you medium armor proficiency, Or dwarf. Dwarf would do the same thing. Well, not. It would be shield dwarf, which would give you medium armor proficiency. And you took warlock, and you take pact of the blade, and you take old one, and then that would get you as close to a hexblade warlock as you could get. Because hexblade warlock in 5e gives you medium armor proficiency. Then whenever you kill an opponent, you get hit points. So that would be as close to you as you can get to a hexblade warlock. Because if you take pact of the blade, take either dwarf or Githyanki, and take the old one, pact. That's the way you would get as close to a hexblade warlock as possible. Anyway, just that I'm not going to take it, so it didn't matter. I mean, it might matter to you. So, dwarf is going to give us 25 feet movement speed, so that's 5 feet less than normal. Well, than the taller races. Battle axe, hand axe, light hammer, and warhammer. Dark vision up to 40 feet. Dwarven resilience, which is advantage on saving throws against poison, and you have resistance to poison damage, which is great. That's normal for gold dwarf. Shield dwarf is going to get you, in addition to all that other stuff, light and medium armors. But if I go back here, oh, they're going to give that to you too. So you get the poison, but you don't get the extra hit points. So you don't. They got rid of that. They got rid of the extra hit points for the dwarf. I think. I'm not seeing it. Oh no, here it is. Dwarven toughness. You do get it. Your hit point maximum increases by 1, and it increases by 1 every time you gain a level. So it is still in here. I just had to click on the sub race. That's fine. This takes a little getting used to. There's a lot here, guys. So don't be worried if you miss some stuff. Dwargar, also we get superior dark vision, and we get Dwargar resilience, which have advantage on saving throws against illusions and against being charmed or paralyzed. Okay, so they're not giving us, with Dwargar, they're not giving us the 5e, or they're not giving us the ability to turn invisible or use reduce and enlarge. That's a 5e thing for Dwargar, and that is actually in this game, I think, for the enemy types of Dwargar, is they can go invisible, and they can either use enlarge or reduce themselves. That's the Underdark Dwargar, so we're not allowed to have that. I wonder if they took that out for them too. That'll be interesting to see when we go in the Underdark. Clearly, I'm a dwarf guy. I just know a lot about 5e. Tamir. Let's see, 5, and so, but this is it's a little bit confusing, but that's okay. Half elves, what did they do for us? 30 feet per turn. Civil militia is the same as humans, so we get weapon proficiency in spears, pikes, halberds, and glaives, and armor proficiency with light armor and shields. And by the way, somebody in the comments had mentioned that they said, well, they thought that they were going to give us the actual feat of Polearm Master. No, we're not getting that. You're not able to use Polearm Master is a whole different thing. This is like a watered down version of Polearm Master, which is fine. It's okay. And if when we get our feats, I'll show you Polearm Master and I'll show you what that does. As a bonus action, you can use the butt of your weapon to do 1d4 damage, and then if anybody comes into your space within 10 feet of you, you can use that use your reaction as an attack of opportunity to make a strike with your polearm. And then if you use Sentinel on top of that, you can actually lock them down, because if they try to move away, it does the same thing. So yeah, so this is not that. This is like that feat but light, basically. Also, you get dark vision up to 40 feet, and you get Fey ancestry. So I mean, I don't know. Let's see about the sub races on this. So we get a firebolt cantrip. Oh, we can switch that out, which is cool. We get our cantrip choice for high elf, which is nice. Wood elf gets an additional movement speed of 5 feet, like the regular wood elves do. And then drow half elf are going to get. It looks like just dancing lights. It's not giving us an additional choice on our on our cantrip. So that's, you just get dancing lights. But you should also get, man, you should get better dark vision with the drow half elf. I've always thought you should, but you don't. But I always thought you should get superior dark vision, because I mean the drows themselves get superior dark vision. I don't know why you wouldn't as a half elf. That's kind of lame. That's okay though. That's all right. Let's see, what else we got? Let's see, in races. Making a joke? Dwarves rocking 5e, they do. Halflings, guys, you do not get dark vision with these guys. You have 25 feet per turn. You are getting the lucky feat, or the lucky ability and the brave ability. Lucky, when you roll a 1 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can re-roll the dice, and you must use the new roll. So if you get a 1 again, you'll have to use that 1 again. You can't just keep, it won't keep rolling if you keep getting 1s. And the karmic dice in the settings, I've left it on. Karmic dice will even out the rolls for you, and there was a big deal, and I made a video about it, where people were upset that because they were saying that if the better your armor class of your character, the more critical hits you were getting hit with. Now, Larian says that that was a mistake, and that they fixed it on launch, and we are in launch. So I'm leaving karmic dice on. I will be getting as high armor class as I can for a lot of my characters, and we'll see. Do they get critically hit more often? Do they go down more often? I don't know. We're going to find out. And if that's the case, we'll turn it off, and we'll turn off karmic dice. But I'm going to keep it on for now, just because it'll make for a smoother playthrough, if it works. So, and then we also have brave. You have advantage on saving throws against being frightened. But anyway, the whole point behind lucky and karmic dice is if you have karmic dice turned on and you have a halfling character, then you're not going to get 1s very often. So it kind of just takes this lucky feat, or this lucky ability, and just throws it out the window, because the chances of you getting a 1 are going to be real negligible. So something to think about if you have karmic dice turned on and you have a halfling character, you know. But if you were did tactician, I turn karmic dice off, because if you want it on the hard mode, you want it on the hard mode. So let's see. Lightfoot halfling is going to get naturally stealthy. You have advantage on stealth checks. Strongheart halfling gets advantage on saving throws against poison and resistance to poison damage. So similar to the dwarves. So, you know, whatever you feel like is most important to you is what you should take. Gnomes, one of my favorite races. I'm more of a gnome guy than I am a dwarf guy. So gnomes, their base racial speed is going to be 25 feet per turn, and they're going to have gnome cunning. They're going to have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. And a lot of those saving throws are going to be when spells are thrown at you. So it doesn't say they have advantage on against spells, but they are most definitely, every time you're making a saving throw, whenever somebody's trying to cast a spell on you, a lot of it is going to be intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. So yeah, gnomes are really good about that, and it's all the gnomes. So the rock gnome is going to get dark vision up to 40 feet. And Artificer Lore, which is going to give them a proficiency bonus in history checks. I don't really know how often that's going to come up, to be honest. By the way, ignore the stuff on the right. This is I have us locked into a warlock class, and we're not going to take warlock. So ignore all the stuff on the right hand side. Forest gnome you're going to get speak with animals, and you'll be able to cast that, and then you'll be able to have that all the way until the long rest, which is once a day, all day, which is great. There's a lot of animals in this game. Forest gnome is amazing, and you know, I mean, I get a lot of questions in chat where people are asking, you know, well, is it viable for me to play this? Is it viable for me to play that? Yeah, and the answer is yes to all of it. Anything you want to play, as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. Anyway, they also have dark vision up to 40 feet. My favorite character in the game, though, is going to be the deep gnome. I don't know if I'm going to play it though, but it's my favorite. It's my favorite character to play. They have superior dark vision, and even though they only have a movement of 25, they also have stone camouflage, which they get advantage on stealth checks. It's not proficiency in stealth. It's advantage on stealth. So they roll the dice twice, and they take the higher of the two rolls. So whenever you can get advantage on something over proficiency, your chances of you, and plus with all the spells in the game and all the, you know, with inspiration and things like that, advantage is absolutely coveted. So that's why if you want to be that Gloomstalker assassin rogue, Gloomstalker Ranger assassin rogue fighter build, I would seriously highly recommend using Deep Gnome, because they can see up to 80 feet. Well, I mean, dark vision, you can see like it's dim light, so you're still not going to have 100% hit rate. But because dark vision doesn't give you a 100% hit rate, you don't see like it's bright light. You see as if it was in dim light. So, but they and Drows and Dwargar are the three races that are going to give you the longest distance in the dark. But with the advantage on stealth checks, they're my baby. And so my second playthrough, I'll be playing a Deep Gnome. I don't think I'll play it this time, but anyway. So getting on to Dragonborn, ladies and gentlemen. Dragonborn is the race that a lot of people want to play, but a lot of those streamers I'm seeing, I haven't seen a lot of Dragonborn at all because they don't have dark vision. Let's go to the sub races. They do get a breath weapon, and it looks like it's an action. Is it not X amount of times per long rest? Is it really only? Can you go breath weapon after breath weapon after breath weapon? Nuh-uh. Really? It's not X amount of times? It's got to be once per short rest. Does anybody know for sure? You know about anybody else, but you've missed me? Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I've had a lot of family things going on, and these videos normally take a long time to make because I'm having to use skills I don't know how to use yet in editing. Anyway, so black is acid, blue is lightning, brass is fire, bronze is lightning, copper is acid, gold is fire, green is poison. This is the only poison. This character looks so cool. Look at that! Look at those frills, man. This is the coolest looking Dragonborn of all of them, I think. Red is fire, silver is ice, and white is ice. So let me see the silver. Silver didn't look bad. White's not bad. I mean, you're gonna change your head ridges and your frills on your chin too. That looks really cool though. I mean, they look amazing. But they don't have dark vision. But there's probably going to be a magic item somewhere in this game that gives you dark vision when you wear the item. I'd almost guarantee it. Brass looks pretty cool. Jamon Saw Ord, for all you Critical Role fans out there. All right, so, and this is what I was going to do in chat yesterday. I said, or in my comments, I said I was going to recreate or create a very powerful character. I was going to create Archon the Cruel. I was going to recreate Archon the Cruel, and he is a red Dragonborn. If you've never seen the last episode of Critical Role, well, not the last episode, but of the campaign of the first campaign, where they fight Vecna, Joe Manganiello, if I said his last name correctly, played Archon the Cruel, who was a barbarian paladin, and he stole the hand of Vecna. Spoilers. It's like 7 years old now, so if I'm not spoiling anything, if you haven't seen it, too bad, you're too late. He steals the hand of Vecna, and this is actually in the time frame of Baldur's Gate 3, where this happens right after Descent into Avernus, and canonically, timeline-wise, if you were going with not the Sword Coast and Faerun, but if you were to do the Critical Role timeline, this would be right after the end of Critical Role's Campaign 1, then Descent into Avernus, because Archon is down in there, in the module, and then Baldur's Gate 3. So technically he could have come up. I don't know that I want to do that though. Anyway, let's go over the classes right quick. So Barbarian, We get rage on the, at level 1, and unarmored defense. By the way, you get 2 rages per long rest. Yeah, at least at level 1. You do 2 extra damage. You gain, that's with melee and improvised weapons and when throwing objects or people. Rage ends early if you don't attack an enemy or take damage each turn. You can't cast or concentrate on spells while raging. So, there's no raging, what do you call it? Caster classes. Now, you can cast spells, you just can't be raging while you're doing it. Unarmored defense, so you add your constitution modifier to your armor class. So, right now, his constitution is 15. Every 2 levels past 10, you're going to get plus 1. So, as of right now, this character would get a plus 2 to his armor class. Also, constitution raises your hit points, too. But that's neither here nor there. Let's see here. We don't get any subclasses until level 3 on Barbarian. Same with Bards. We don't get a subclass till level 3. Or is it level 2? I forget. Anyway, you're going to get some cantrips. You're going to get some spells. You're going to get Bardic Inspiration, which allows you to inspire an alloy. They can get a 1d6 bonus to their next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. And that will sit on their body until a long rest, or until they use it. And let's see. Clerics get their subclass at the very beginning. So we can go ahead and we can do this. We got life. Clerics, which is going to allow them to do 2 plus the spell's level healing in addition to the healing spell, whatever it would normally do. So like Cure Wounds would be 1d8, and this is plus 3 for the life cleric versus, let's say, a trickery. Well, they're not showing that. A trickery cleric, which would just be 1d8. So my thought is this, and when I did Build a Beto Shadowheart video, I was like, take Goodberry as a druid so you could get more out of the Goodberry at an earlier level because you get 4 of them. It's like having 2 extra spells is what it is. And I got a lot of guff on that, but I still stand by it. I'm gonna actually respec Shadowheart into a life cleric and give her a druid multi-class just to see what happens. I want to see what Goodberry's really going to do. We'll do that later, though, in the playthrough. I'm going to be multi-classing all the characters, so nothing will be the same. Because I've got a lot of builds, So you also get blessed at level 1. So the light domain, you're going to get a light, obviously, until a long rest. You're going to have domain spells. You're going to be able to change those out. You get to pick 3 of the 6 that are available here. There's so many of these clerics to go through. So many subclasses. Trickery cleric gets Blessing of the Trickster, which gives you advantage on stealth checks. Basically, it's the same thing as the Deep Gnome. And that lasts until... Oh, that's concentration. So that's only one person you can cast it on, though. Knowledge Domain is going to give us Command and Sleep. This is going to give you... Thought it was going to give us more than that. That's okay. Let's see. Cantrips are going to change a little bit. Oh, no, it's not going to change. Let's change out this subclass and see on these cantrips that they change. They don't. They're keeping them all the same. All right, that's fine. Knowledge Domain. Let's see. Nature Domain is going to give us... This is going to be crossing over into Druid territory. Subclass feature is you learn a Druid cantrip and become proficient with animal handling, nature, or survival. We're going to get several different spells that are Druid-based. Speak with animals, animal friendship. You get Shillelagh, which actually would be pretty good for the for cleric because you get additional bludgeoning damage on top of the damage that you would normally do on your, it says staff or club. So I don't think it's going to work for any other weapon. So you'd have to go to it with a staff, but there are some good staves in the game. So that might be worth it. Depends on what you want to do. Tempest Domain right here, guys, is probably going to be, this is going to go over really well if you wanted to go. Anyway, your face has made you the very thunder that quakes the black firmament. Lightning courses through your veins of the terrible storm. So you're going to have a lot of lightning-based spells. You strike back with at an attacking creature, potentially dealing 2d16 lightning damage. It's basically like Hellish Rebuke, but this is all lightning-based cleric magic. So if you were to do this is another one of my builds. I'm just going to throw this in here right quick. If you were to go Dragonborn, and you were to go Blue Dragonborn or Brass or Bronze Dragonborn, where you actually have a lightning breath weapon, and you went with Tempest Domain Cleric and then multi-classed into, where is it? Storm Sorcerer, because Storm Sorcerers give you, is it maximum damage with your lightning? Hang on, we're gonna get into this in a second. I just want to see right quick. Where's the subclass? There it is. It's not showing it. Whether you're, but if you those three together will be amazing. You'll make your breath weapon into a like a severely deadly weapon, because it all comes together. Those three items together, it's a hell of a build. I'll have to go through and we'll have to mess around with it one day. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'll do a playthrough with it. Anyway, let's get back to what we were doing. I'm getting off base. So the other cleric subclass that we've got is going to be War Domain, which is going to allow you to, when you make an unarmed or weapon attack, you can spend a War Priest charge to make an additional attack on a bonus action. So if you were a War Priest and a monk, that would be pretty amazing. Additional attacks as a bonus action aren't. I don't know if that's gonna stack with extra attack or not, because I don't know how they've built this in this game. So so it may or may not work with like a fighter's extra attack or a paladin's extra attack. So if you subclass from cleric into paladin or cleric into fighter and take 5 levels of fighter, I don't know if their extra attack is going to work with war priests additional attack as a bonus action. Definitely something we need to take a look at, and that's down the road, like I said. So anyway, I'm getting way off base because I'm starting to talk about builds, and I really shouldn't do that. Next up, we have Druid. So you're going to need level 2 before you can shapeshift, guys. Or get your subclass. So yeah, we're not even going to see that. A few different cantrips we can get. I'm not going to worry about backgrounds right now. Fighter. Once again, we get healing, or we get second wind at level 1. We get a fighting style. We can choose archery, defense, dueling, great weapon fighting, protection, or 2-weapon fighting. Let's see. That's about it. Monk. All right, so Monk gets Flurry of Blows right off the bat as a bonus action. So we're going to be able to do 8 to 14 points of damage. And you use a key point for that. You're going to get a certain number of key points depending on the level that you're at. I think at level 1 you get 2, and it goes up 1 from every level after that. So you're going to have unarmored defense. All of these use key, by the way. So unarmored defense allows you to add your wisdom modifier to your armor class, and that would be until the end of your next turn, I think. We get dexterous attacks, which are going to be attacks with monk weapons, and unarmored attacks scale with your dexterity instead of your strength if your dexterity is higher. So it doesn't have to be, but it can be. You can be a strength-based monk if you want. Death strikes, attacks with monk weapons and unarmed strikes deal 1d4 bludgeoning damage unless their normal damage is higher. And a martial arts bonus, unarmed strike. which making an attack with a monk weapon or while unarmed, you make another unarmed attack as a bonus action. Monks are super overpowered, man. They're OP at higher levels. I mean, they're not bad at low levels, but they're definitely overpowered at high levels. But they have unarmed, they're going to have unarmed defense like the barbarian does. Unarmed defense. So, where is it? I'm not seeing it though, but I know it's here. Here it is. Nope. Where is it? Anyway, that's because it has to be because you're not wearing armor as a monk. Anyway, paladin. Actually, how many monk subclasses? Where are we at? Oh, we don't pick that till later, so it doesn't matter. All right, so paladins. It says subclass, but I didn't think you picked your subclass till level 3. Okay, well anyway. Lay on hands for healing, divine sense, so you get advantage on attack rolls against celestials, fiends, and undead. So paladins are going to be super OP in this game. Super OP. Channel oath charges, you get 1 at level 1. That goes up as you go up in level. You gain the ability to channel the power contained in your paladin oath, which you can use to fuel certain actions. Now, Oath of the Ancients is, of course, you get your healing radiance, which within a 10-foot radius, you're going to be able to heal all of yourself and all of your allies for 5 hit points. That goes up as you go up in level. And your Oath of Ancient Tenets, these are rules you have to live by, guys. If you break them, the Oathbreaker spirit will come to you, and it will strip you of your power, turn it into an Oathbreaker, and that changes your whole thing. So, if you want to break your oath, read this whenever you pick your oath, and then do the opposite. Somewhere along the line, the Oathbreaker will come in, probably when you rest in your long rest at camp, and will turn you into an Oathbreaker. So, Oathbreaker of the Ancients tenet: kindle the light through acts of kindness, and kindle the light of hope in the bleakest hollows of despair. Shelter the light wherever love blooms. Stand where the devilry would snip its stems. Preserve your own light. Delight in its culture and small joys, to preserve the light in your own heart. So, whatever that means. Oath of Devotion. Courage, strike dauntlessly into action. Compassion, show elemency when prudent, and lend your arm to those in need. So if you turn your back on somebody who needs your help, you're probably going to break your oath. Tend to your responsibilities. Obey just laws, and support those entrusted to your care. And you're going to get Holy Rebuke, which is like Hellish Rebuke. You get you have an Avengeful Aura that deals 1d4 radiant damage to anyone who hits them with a melee attack. So yeah, that's a reaction. Oh, it says action. Yeah, it's an action to activate it. The last 2 turns, it's got to be a reaction. Anyway, and then Oath of Vengeance, you have set aside even your own purity to right wrongs and deliver justice to those who have committed the most grievous sins. You or your allies' weapon attacks deal an additional 2 radiant damage, and can daze enemies for 1 turn. It's got a 30-foot reach. It's a bonus action. Lasts for 2 turns. And your tenets are this: you fight the greater evil, exert your wisdom, identify the higher morality in any given instance, and fight for it. No mercy for the wicked, chasten those who dole out their villainy by wiping their blight from the world forever. All right. So, by the way, I just realized I got into Dragonborn and I hadn't gotten to Half Orc before we did anything else. Let's go back to Half Orc real quick. Half Orc has a racial speed of 30. They have dark vision up to 40 feet. They have relentless endurance, which if you reach 0 hit points, you regain 1 hit point instead of becoming downed, which means instead of going unconscious, you pop back up. And then they also have savage attacks, which when you land a critical hit with a melee attack weapon, your damage dice are tripled instead of doubled. So, you don't, but normally in 5e you get to roll an additional damage die. So they triple it instead of double it. Same thing, it's an average, which is cool. And there's no subclass for Half Orc, or subrace. So Ranger. Okay, so you get True Strike, and you get Find Familiar for that. Well, hang on a second. What's going on with the Ranger here? Oh, that's Beast Tamer. That's why. All right, so that showed. It should be reversed. This should be flipped, I think. Well, whatever. Favorite enemy is going to give it. So a bounty hunter. You gain proficiency in investigation, and your creatures you hit with ensnaring strike, either ranged or melee, have a disadvantage on their saving throw. Keeper of the Veil. You specialize in hunting creatures from other planes of existence. You gain proficiency in Arcana. You can cast protection from evil and good. Magebreaker. You have a history of battling spellcasters. You gain proficiency in Arcana and can cast True Strike, which is right there. Ranger Knight. You get a proficiency in history and armor. Heavy armor. Sanctified Stalker, you get proficiency in religion and can cast Sacred Flame. Now, if you're a Beast Tamer, you get Find Familiar, Urban Tracker. You get a proficiency in Sleight of Hand, and then in your Waste Wanderers, you get resistance to that type of damage. So either cold, fire, or poison. Okay. Rogue. You're going to get your sneak attack with either melee or ranged attack. It's going to give you 1d6 extra weapons damage if you are hidden. It says you get advantage against what? Where are you? It's saying you gain advantage against whatever. It's not telling me. It won't let me read it. Sorcerers. Subclass. Where are we at? A lot of different spells. We got Wild Magic, Draconic Bloodline, Storm Sorcery. So Wild Magic, guys, anytime you cast a spell, there's a Wild Magic table that the game will roll, and you have a percentage chance of something else happening in addition to what you cast. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be indifferent. But there's a big long list in 5e of the things that can happen. And if it doesn't happen, every time you cast again, there's a higher chance that it will happen until it does happen. So, and you get Tides of Chaos. Yeah, so activate this to gain advantage on your next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. So that's kind of nice. And then Wild Magic, it stems from the forces of chaos. It churns within the sorcerers that wield it, waiting to burst free. So, and there later on in this tree, the developers were saying there will come a time where you can control it. You can actually cause Wild Magic to come out. You can't control what happens, but you can cause the bursts a certain number of times per short or long rest. Draconic Bloodline is going to give you. It says your hit points maximum increases by 1 for each sorcerer level. You also get Draconic Resilience, which is what your scales are. See those on the face right here. You have Dragon Scales, which are going to be able to give you your basic armor class is 13 plus your dexterity. So normally your base armor class is 10 without any armor. So you get an additional 3 to your armor class if you're not wearing armor. If you're wearing armor and it's greater than that, obviously it's going to be greater than that because you're wearing armor. And then Storm Sorcery, I read this before. Level 1, if you cast a level 1 spell or higher, you can fly as a bonus action until the end of your next turn without receiving opportunity attacks. This is actually more powerful than it is in 5e. In 5e, it's only 10 feet. So that's actually pretty good. It's pretty cool. A lot of good options. And a lot of stuff they've actually made more powerful than in 5e. Some of the stuff they nerfed, but a lot of it they made more powerful. All right, let's go with Warlock. Okay, so Warlock is gonna you're basically you've pledged yourself to a deity or a demigod, and in this case you have 3 choices. You have the Fiend, and you traded your service for the power that they're giving you. So let's see. So this one right here for the Fiend, you get the armor. Well, these spells, you can choose 2 spells. You don't get a lot of spells, but they do scale as you go higher. So they're gonna become more powerful. I mean, same thing happens with like wizards, or with clerics. Or druids. You can upcast, but the big one here, the big not spell, but cantrip that people are going for is going to be Eldritch Blast. It's the strongest cantrip in the game, damage-wise. And then once you reach level 2, you get Eldritch Invocations, which allow you to extend. There are a lot of powers and abilities that you're not able to get anywhere else. And it also makes Eldritch Blast a lot more powerful. It'll make it go a lot further, or you can knock people back. And then once you get to be a certain level, you can fire more than one Eldritch Blast at a time and hit multiple enemies. It's a really powerful spell. Anyway, the great old one is what I was talking about earlier about building a Hexblade Warlock. You get the ability to, when you score a critical hit on a creature, that creature and any nearby creatures must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or become frightened until the end of their next turn. That's not what it was. They changed it. Oh, no, it must be... No, well, I don't know. They changed it. Okay. So it used to be when you wiped out somebody, you gained a certain number of hit points or temporary hit points depending on what you did there. So I don't know what's up. That's not the same. I don't think. Unless I'm missing something. So, okay, whatever. Of course, you get spells. Same spells as the other ones. I mean, and then the third one is going to be the Archfey. Graced by a lady or lord of the Fey, you are imbibed with all the sumptuous and scary qualities of your patron's extraordinary realm. So you charm or frighten nearby foes with the Feywild's beguiling, disturbing magics. And there are more powers as you get higher in level. You get more powers as you go along. And this lasts for 2 turns. It'll allow you to choose. And it might hit, it might not hit. They're going to have to do a saving throw. So it's a wisdom save. And so the higher your charisma, the higher their saving throw is going to have to be. With any caster, whatever the main stat is that you're casting your spell from, that's going to determine your DC. And that is the number that they have to roll over to not be affected by your spell. For warlocks, it's charisma. For paladins and for clerics, it's wisdom. For sorcerers, it's charisma. For wizards, it's intelligence. So, and then with wizards, speaking of wizards, we're going to get arcane recovery. So once per short rest, you're going to be able to, is it once per short rest or once per long rest? Once per long rest. You're able to get back spell slots, depending on what your level is. That will determine how many spell slots at what level you can get back once per long rest. So you can actually, you run out of spells, take an arcane recovery, get a little bit of your spell action back. It's helpful, but there's so many short and long rests in this game, it doesn't really matter that much. As far as subclasses go, we don't see those till level 2. There's a bunch. So we'll go over those later on down the road. All right, so backgrounds. Actually, let's go ahead and determine what I'm going to be. Really, I think the as far as balance goes, the most powerful character right now is going to be half-orc because of if you're going to go melee, because of their savage attacks and their relentless endurance. They're going to make the most powerful barbarian or fighter or paladin that exists. And so I was going to build Archon the Cruel, but I think we're going to build a half-orc, but the same style. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to build a melee character. Normally, I'm a spellcaster. Normally, I do wizards, but I think we're going to go half-orc. I think we're going to go start with barbarian. I think we're going to go a few levels in barbarian until I can get past the berserker. Then I'm going to go paladin, and then toward the end we're gonna the middle to like probably the end of Act 2, early Act 3. I'll go into fighter, so I can get action surge. So we're gonna go triple. We're gonna triple multi-class this character eventually. We're gonna start as a barbarian, move into paladin, go into fighter, and then we'll fill out the last few levels with whatever makes sense at the time. It'll depend on what kind of equipment I get. A lot of it will depend on what equipment I get. And I might just completely reclass this character depending on what we find. The magic items in this game might completely change my mind. But Barbarian's what we're going to start with right now. So, and it's going to be half orc. It makes sense for me. Backgrounds are super important right now, guys. So, by the way, you guys are, if you're talking about the social aspect of the game, well, when it comes to like dice rolls or talking to people or whatever, you have a lot of party members. So I'm going to pick one of my party members to do most of the talking most of the time because my charisma is going to be really low because I'm a barbarian. Actually, it's not true. I'm going to go, if I go paladin, if I went paladin first, it would even out my scores a little bit better. We might go paladin first level and then drop into barbarian after that. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. I have it written down. Hang on. Let me look. Let me look and see what I had written down. Stat wise. I gotta find it. Bear with me. Yeah, wisdom. Let's see, hang on. I think we're gonna go barbarian, but I'm gonna change my stats. We're gonna move our stats around a little bit because I need charisma for paladin. So right now acolyte. Let's see. Give me my background. So we've got acolyte, which gives you insight and religion skills. Charlatan. I'm just gonna go through these right quick. Charlatan will give you deception and sleight of hand. Criminal is going to give you deception and stealth. Entertainer will give you acrobatics and performance. Folk hero will give you animal handling and survival. Guild artisan will give you insight and persuasion. Noble will give you history and persuasion. Outlander gives you athletics and survival. Sage gives you arcana and history. Soldier gives you athletics and intimidation. And urchin would give you sleight of hand and stealth. Okay, so anyway, let's see. What do we want to do here? It wouldn't hurt to be able to pick locks and to be stealthy. Let's do, if we do criminal, that'd be deception and stealth. Let's actually go to abilities right quick and see. Let's see if I can change my skills here and become proficient in different ones. If I want my athletics, this will help me shove people and resist being shoved. I can, if I get rid of animal handling, if we unclick that, and I go into athletics, I can go ahead and get a +5 to push people off cliffs. We want that. Survival is going to be tracking prey. I don't care about that. Perception is really good. Hang on. I'm going to confirm that right quick, but I might change this. If we change this, hang on. If we go back to background, if I did athletics, I could get a +7 to it. And this is where your background really comes in handy. You got to think about what do you want to do with your character. Performance, athletics. If I went Outlander, and then I go back to my abilities and I change my proficiency. Right now, it's 5. Oh, it won't let me. I can't do that because I don't have. If I went thief, I could. Because then I can get a double proficiency on 2 of my. Yeah, I can't do that. It won't let me. That's right. not called reliable talent. What's it called? Chat. Hang on. Let's go. What's it called again? Expertise. That's what it's called. You get expertise on 4 of your abilities. So you can actually double your proficiency. That's where you can get your +7s. So if you take, once you take Thief, you're able to get proficiency in 2 of your skills, which can get you a +7 on your rolls. So taking Thief is super powerful. But do I want to do it? No, I don't. We're not gonna. Doesn't make sense. We're going Barbarian. So I can still get +5 on that, but I still want stealth. Sleight of hand will help me with lockpicking. Let's do that. Yeah, athletics is still +5. That's good. And we get the +3 on our sleight of hand and our stealth. That's fine. Perception is still +3. That's good. All right, let's confirm that. And then with our abilities, I want my strength to be as high as possible. And constitution as high as possible. Intelligence is fine there. Wisdom we're going to drop to 10. Charisma's going up. And then dexterity I'm going to drop to 12. Because I'm going to do strength-based weapons. We're going to raise that charisma up to 13. Because I'm going to want my charisma up to 14 before too long for my abilities as a paladin. I almost feel like I want to go ahead and do that. I think we will. Wait, it's not going to let me do 3. No, it won't let me do that. Never mind. I was like, what? All right, so that'll be fine for now. All right, let's go ahead and let's go with and I'm not a female. I'm a male. Let's see, body type wise. I could randomize my appearance. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna find one that I like. We want male. Ha 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 ha! That's not bad. Oh yeah, baby. Woo! I like it. Still not quite my style though. Look at them chops, man. Those Elvis chops. All right. So let's go back into the character creator. Let's go into the character creator. Let's go where is it? Half orc. Edit appearance. Here we go. Here it is. So let's see. Which face do I want? I want him to be a little bit more, look a little smarter. Oh, those are just scarring. I don't care about scars. Skin color. We'll make him, I don't know if it's going to make a difference. Is him looking more human going to make a difference? Also, he's a, I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. Let's make him that color, I guess. That's pretty good. I like that. That's pretty even toned. I mean, I'm just going after what I look like. You know what I mean? Maturity, he's an old man. Maybe he's old. Well, even as an old orc, they don't look old. Freckles. Freckles. Let's see here. What's the voice sound like?
Where to next?
Oh, no.
What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
That's better. Where's the rest of it? Oh, here it is. Body art. Okay. I think he was just, let's see, eyes. Give him blue eyes. Whoa, that's a little much. I've got blue eyes, and that's a little much. All right, and then makeup. No makeup. Get rid of the makeup. Unless that's not bad. I am Batman. Gotta get rid of that lipstick, though. That's for sure. Where's the lip tint. Oh, I see. I guess we could go green. I want green. There it is. Oh my God! Let's not do that. Blue. Let's get the gloss out of there. I have to live with this character for 100 hours, so bear with me. By the way, that's not too bad. That's good. I am gonna give him hair though. I think I need hair for this guy. Short hair, but I think he needs hair. I can find the hair I want. Oh, I don't want green hair. No, we're not doing that. That's not too bad. Keep him monotone, maybe. What about facial hair? Give him a little gray. Won't hurt. I don't know what I'm turning him into, but... Huh. Hey, Elvis. That's not too bad. Tied back like that. Let's go facial hair. Okay, that's not bad. Let's go ahead and let's go. We're gonna ditch the freckles. And he's been in a few fights. He's a barbarian, for God's sake. That'll do. Maybe get clocked in the eyeball once. Go eyes. Nope. Makeup. All right, I'm gonna go through the faces real quick again. I'm surprised that this is all the lip color they've got. I mean, I'm complaining about lip color, for God's sake. How many choices in this game do I really want? You know what I mean? There we go. Grizzly Adams. Grizzly Orcams. Alright. Where's my name? First of all. Do we not name... Where do we name them? Because I don't see the names. Where's his name? Huh. Oh yeah, I like this better. That's much better. What about this one? I don't know why we can't change their tasks. We should be able to change their tasks. I like this guy best. He's better. Proceed through. Is that it, Godric? All right. There we go. All right. He's about as mean as about as mean as I could make him. Let's see. Just gonna call him Joe. Okay, guys. So that is it right there. That is everything as far as I wanted to be to show you as far as the character creator goes. We created our very first character. He's going to be a half-orc barbarian. It's about as classic as it gets. And we're going to start him off there, and we will move him into paladin and then into fighter as we play. I'm going to end this right now because the other live stream was already supposed to start like 7 minutes ago. So we're going to jump out of this one and jump into that one. And hopefully this helped everybody out that's watching this later on down the road. If it did, give us a thumbs up. And if I've earned your subscription, don't forget to hit that bell icon for notifications. I didn't realize it's been a full hour. Anyway, guys, as I always say, I am my usual me, you be your usual you. And go back onto the channel so you can get onto the very first episode of the playthrough coming up right now. Love you all. We'll talk to you in a minute. All right. Bye-bye.